Hello, my name is Laura Pierrat. I'm really happy to be with you today on Doves for Peace, and I'm looking forward to sharing love, light, and healing with you. I'm going to say thanks to my husband in the background playing us some intro music, and I want to begin by inviting you to light a candle with me for peace, love, light, and healing throughout the earth and all that live upon it. So I'm going to get my candle, and you are welcome to light a candle with me, or if not, just know that it's an outer symbol for the inner candle that burns brightly within us all, as we are all holding the intention for love, light, peace, and healing. And for that to go across the world to everyone who needs the gift and the energy that we're offering from our hearts. And honestly, you wouldn't be tuning in if you weren't already holding that in your heart. So the work I do is energy healing, and I'm a channel, and I channel light language, which is a little unusual still, not very well known. So I would like to begin activating everyone in their heart center and bringing everyone into alignment together as one. We're going to hold love and light together as a collective. We're going to hold a space of healing, and it will be available live in this transmission for the hour we're together. And it will also be a safe place, a butterfly field for others to land in and to suck the nectar of the love of God. So I really want to be sure everyone is aligned in a coherent field of love in their heart center, grounded into the earth. So if you'll join me, before I even tell you about light language and what that is, we will have an experience of it. And a little tip and a trick, if you have a little difficulty shutting off the mind and it tends to wander and activate too much thinking when you're trying to be peaceful and still, you might try rocking back and forth a little as you see me doing. If you have your feet on the floor, perhaps you're standing, not so much now, likely you're relaxing somewhere, but at some point try standing and rocking back and forth, shifting your weight between your feet. And I think you will begin to notice you come into a whole brain posture. You're activating and aligning and harmonizing the left and right brains, hemispheres. So it's just a little trick, and I invite you to try it. So join me now as we all drop out of our heads. There's nothing that you need to think about, to know, or to understand. This language that is going to bless us in a form of unity and coherence. We all know it deep in our hearts. It is the language of creation. And your cells know it, your heart knows it, your soul knows it. So you don't need to know or understand or translate it. Just feel and let it infuse you and remind you of what and who you really are. Akia lokaya wakota kasi kasa shukai. Ota kasi kalakai. Om chiawako. Ota kisiki awako lakai. O chiawa. Bokhai siki hawako. Ale ki alokayawa. Omakayawa kotakasi. Ale. Alo. Ala. Ama. Ana. Om. Alaki, alako, alakai, alakai, chikiawa kota. Ale ki alokayawa, o makalakai, o masakayawa kolakai. Ale ki alakotakasa, o shikiawa kolakai, shikiawa kolakai, Ale ki alokai, makai, ale ki alokotakasa, shubakaya no kotene kiawa. Ale, alo, ala, ama, ana, om. Take a nice deep breath. And just let yourself fill with the love of God, the peace of knowing that everything you need is present in every moment. As you are able to expand and leave the mind and the stress and the worry and the fear and the lack behind, you enter this amazing space of receptivity, and you enter it through joy and gratitude, from peace and trust. And that is the space where you really can easily connect to your own higher self, to the guides and angels who are always ready to serve you when you give your permission, because you do have the free will not to. And certainly God Source, which is always available to you, or you would not be alive. So if you ever doubt it, take a breath. If you're still breathing, you are connected to God Source. Okay, so now you know what language of light feels like. And I started my healing journey back in 2000 when I had fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue. And I had had it for 4 years before that, but I was just going to doctors who were treating me for infections and fatigue and exhaustion, pain, that sort of thing. And we really hadn't gotten to the bottom of it. So in 2000, I found a rheumatologist and was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue. And the devastating diagnosis was that it is incurable. And back in those days, there wasn't even Lyrica. So there was really nothing in the medical field for me. And that's an interesting quandary, because my father was a surgeon. So I grew up around the medical tradition and trusted it to meet my every need. My sister is a nurse, and I just never stepped out of the traditional allopathic paradigm until it was no longer an option. So when the doctor said we have no cure, he offered me what other patients had said was useful, and that was meditation, yoga, and hot soaks. And that's where I began, and prayer. So I was not a big prayer before that. I hadn't really hit a wall before that. So I really just started asking for help, finding my way through, and finding my way to a spiritual connection that I felt I could trust and depend on. And amazing synchronicities opened up. I would just find a total stranger handing me a book, and I would say, "Why are you giving me this book?" And they said, "Don't worry about it," because they were following their guidance, and I didn't understand guidance then. And I would be in a restaurant and overhear a conversation about fibromyalgia, and I would find a group or a practitioner through that. I was led to many people and many explorations. And I want to encourage you guys to trust the synchronicities that show up in your lives. Because while I may have had a health crisis, you all may have had a crisis with grief or loss. It may be mental health. It may be financial. Perhaps a relationship is challenging and you're feeling very, very despondent or uncertain what to do. Or you've had to make tough choices and have boundaries with people. Maybe walk away from something abusive. And all of that can lead you to the search that really is the beginning of the journey home to that which you are and your authenticity. And it's not an easy journey, but it is a worthy one. And you find many nuggets of gold along the way. So I'm guessing if you're tuning in here, you're already on that path. And I hope that I can bring some light and healing and peace to your hearts. So in that journey, one thing and another, I took a healing class. I learned to do self-healing, and that helped remarkably in just really only 2 months of doing self-healing. I was already moving out of the pain and exhaustion. I did work with a naturopath for 2 years that tremendously rebuilt my system, system by system, literally regained my life and functions in terms of the pain and the chronic fatigue. So meanwhile, started bringing myself into a healed state using those systems that I've discussed here. And the next thing was, how do I serve? I've been given my life back. Now, how can I bring that gift to others who are in a dark space and a deep hole, and feeling that there must be another way. So I became a healer, and I took many classes, many modalities, trainings. But at some point in that journey, everything just activated within me naturally. And I had to make a choice. Do I stay in a technique I've learned and studied, or do I trust what's coming through me? And that's what led to the channeling. And so what you'll see here today, it will be pure channeling, not technique based, although I do sort of have my own modality, if you will, in terms of resources that are part of my work. So that resource is my light team. And I have many, many guides and angels and ascended masters, archangels. It's just an amazing team, including Earth herself and many beings who participate with her, and the elements, and just a vast treasure of energies. And what they tell me is for me not to get my mind involved in trying to decide what to use or what to apply to a person or a situation, but to trust the weave will always come through. And I've been doing that since about 2003. And in that process, light language is one of the things that has come through. And I found it profoundly healing and helpful for people. And also in the way that it bypasses the mind. So you really can't resist or get mentally defensive with it, as you might say in a therapy session, or if somebody's talking to you about your emotional patterns. You just don't go into that, because what you really do is you get this blessing that helps clear some of the turmoil and the lower consciousness vibrations, perhaps through trauma, or many lifetimes we've been persecuted and told we're wrong for being the light that we are. So when someone challenges us, boy, we either really are triggered and respond heavily back, or we retreat, and we don't want to do our work here. We don't want to stick our necks out. And so any light workers, almost all that I've encountered, are struggling with that, because it does take a lot. And some of that poverty consciousness that comes through from our lifetimes in perhaps monastic expressions or mystery schools, and times where we weren't to charge for our work and we really were in some service that we were supported in through the church or in some other way. So I hope that if this speaks to any of you, that you really take it to heart, that you will get the support when you release fear and lack, and you really anchor in trust. Everything can change, and synchronicities will be available, opportunities and networks open. Thus for Peace is open for me in this way. It's a little bit of a kick out of my comfort zone, to take another step out into this audio-visual presentation way, that we can do YouTube videos or these kind of presentations, so countless people can access the healing that is held within them. So if you're holding yourself back because you don't think that you can bring your dreams to fruition, and you don't think you're enough, I'm just here to tell you that you are. And we're going to do some light language to bring you into an ability to really feel that and know that and trust that. So the way this works is it sort of opens a doorway for you to peek at that which you truly are as a divine being, and the resources that are within you, and the gifts and the remembering that perhaps you've blocked from many lifetimes, that you've developed skills and abilities that are ripe for this now. And with that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you. I guess that's a good start. Let's get into some healing. And a little later, I'll tell you my website information and how to access a great deal of free healing, light language podcasts and posts, and also I do sessions. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But for now, let's get some healing. So if you would give permission, and I really, really mean from your heart. So we want to drop out of the mind again, always out of the mind, when we ask for something to be made manifest. We want to ask that it be in alignment with the highest good. So we want to surrender the mind and the need, and we want to bring in the energy of trust, peace, and alignment with your highest good. So take a deep breath and join me in this space, surrendering what you think you know, what you think you need, what you think you're lacking, and just be present with what is, because it always is enough to at least take the next step, and that's all you need. And you always have what you need to do that. So, of course, we all think we want to be where we're at the skilled level or the capability that we're going to be in 5 years. But you're not in 5 years from now, right now. Be here now, as you are, grateful for every bit of it. And that will give you the next step and the next and the next for the next 5 years. So 5 years from now, you'll be exactly where you want to be. So let's align and bring in some healing for this lack and fear energy. Doubt, lack of confidence. And we're going to bring in the light codes to support you in aligning with your greater truth. Akia lokaiwa, shumakai, alekia lokaiwa, bohotaki sikiawa, shumakai, alakialo, abakai omakai alaki alakotakasa, ale, alo, ala, ama, ana, om. Alaki alakotakasa, alaki alakotakasa, ale, alo, ala, ama, ana, om. Aki akota, sumakai, ale ki alokai, ale, alo, ala, ama, ana, om. Take a nice deep breath and ground in the truth that you are enough and you always have enough for the present moment. And when you are in gratitude for that and trust of that, you can expand and receive the next bit of guidance that will instruct you how to get to the next step. And that's all you need to worry about, just the next step. Okay? Now I want to bring in a little more of the energy of peace now that we've made some space to hold peace by releasing doubt. Ha! Sikiawa! Hotakasi! Halakia lokai! Hom shikiawa! Halakia lokai! Hotakasi! Halakai! Hotakasi! Halakai! Hotakasi! Kalakai! Aleki halokaiwa! Hokasakiawa! Hatakasiki hawako! Bahasakai halaki alakota! Shubakai anokateneki! Alakotakasa! Shubakai alakia lokotakasa! Alakia lokotakasi siawa. Uya sokalakai omakai alaki alakotakasa. Alakia lokotakasiawa. Ale, alo, ala, ama, ana, om. Alaki alakotakasa. Alaki alakotakasa. Ala. I feel a little lighter, a little freer, and I hope you do too. Just lighten up and feel and fill with peace. Okay. And now I will tell you where you can access my work at laurapierat.com, LauraPierat.com. And on that website is a little sidebar with what looks like a chalkboard where you can put in your email and follow my posts. But what you'll get also is a daily dose of love, which is a free gift from Spirit through me. And it carries a 5 to 15 minute light language, mostly, some messages in English, transmission that will help you progress. It's an immersion journey. So, like the first 2 months will be a great deal of light language, and later you'll start to get a little more English. But we're really immersing you and training your energy field to hold these divine frequencies. These are the non dual frequencies of the higher realm of light, where we can expand and hold a level of coherence that will literally reprogram and overwrite the incoherent and the lower consciousness frequencies that we hold now. So I'm just going to invite you to be blessed by that if you choose and you feel it resonates with you. And there's 35 hours and more of healing radio show archives. There, I have a couple of albums you can download. I do sessions and make custom recordings. So you can find all of that, but I just really want you to know there's a lot of free material, and there are a great many tools for consciousness shifting on my website, which is Humanity Rising. So let's just turn this over to Spirit and bring in a channeled message. Beloved ones, we greet you. We love you. We send you peace, light, healing, and love. We are so aligned with your purpose and your intent to support this program, for peace is needed throughout the earth in a very coherent and consistent way. We send you blessings. We truly, we are walking with you. We are carrying you at times, and we are inspiring you. We are continuously offering you the energies of the higher realms. For these fifth dimensional and higher frequencies truly bring a coherency that overwrites and changes the deterioration and the destruction, the entropy of this plane. And so we are so grateful that you are willing to serve in this way, to hold these frequencies, to be the light, to hold that intention so clearly in your hearts that even as you struggle through your own challenges, you are holding the light for others as well. And you are trusting that you will emerge victorious. You will emerge successful in your own growth and soul purpose. And more than that, you will also help hold the light for others. And that can be a challenge at times because others can be somewhat unpleasant, challenging, and trigger you. But that is part of the plan. Because as you are triggered, you are given a big message. It is a way to recognize where you still need healing within. And so everyone who triggers you is blessing you with a message. And you get to take that message and go sit in meditation or prayer in some way to decide, is that true for you? Does it really trigger you? Or are you carrying someone else's stuff, in which case, just let it go. But you start to realize we are one. And you can, by going into a spiritual solution within yourself, you can bring healing to yourself and the entire planet. Because you have just created a spiritual solution others can then attune to when they are in your energy field, or pull right up their root chakra from the earth grids if you are walking groundedly as a grounded being. And so we are so very grateful that you are here honoring the spirit of your being and expanding through conscious intention to be more, to always open to the more that you are, and to embody that divine light that you really truly are and have somehow forgotten. So we're here with you, offering peace and love. And we want you to know that the potentials for a beautiful new earth are always evolving, and every step that you take and every part that you contribute through your love, through holding peace in your heart, through being present and holding sacred space for another, helps activate more of that in this plane of life. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're always telling you to hold gratitude, but do know that we are holding gratitude right there with you. And gratitude is like the password, the magic elixir that opens so much more to you. And so we will leave you with this message and honor you as family. Peace. Be in peace. We love you. We cherish you. We uphold the living light that you are. You are blessed beings, everyone. Thank you. So I'll take a minute and see if there's any questions in the chat that we can, that we can address. Can't quite see the chat here. Can somebody put her address link in? My email address is Laura Pierratt, LauraPierratt.com. You can email me at laurapierratt@gmail.com. And there are links in my website for contacting me as well, if you want to send me an email. And I can be followed on Facebook. We can be friends on Facebook in my personal page, which is Laura Pierratt, or Laura Pierratt -channeling, healing, and Healing and Ascension Energies, I think. Will take you to a page that has an open discussion about light language and the daily dose of love work. So if you have any questions, you can put them in chat and I'll see if I can answer them. So I don't see too much there. I'll continue sharing. What I wanted to share is a little bit of a talk again. I think perhaps something was coming through on Skype. I'm not sure. Perhaps Brother Sean is communicating with me. This is my first time doing this, so please be patient with me. All right, so I will simply talk to you a little right now about some imagery I've been being shown lately that I've been asked to share with humanity. The imagery has to do with walking on a tightrope and fearing that you're going to fall. And we were all raised in families where we were taught to be the best we can be and put your best foot forward, even to the degree of being competitive. And we learn to compare ourselves with others. From the very youngest ages, we've been told we're not enough and we're wrong often. We're corrected many times for doing something and shown how we should do it better. And we know this comes from well-meaning parents and schools and authorities, if you will, in our communities. But it does still have the impact of causing us to fear failure. And this fear of failure is causing us to walk this tightrope. So what Spirit was showing me recently and asking me to share is they want us to stop comparing ourselves to everyone else. And they are wanting us to recognize that while we're looking down, our attention is on the fear of falling. So we're on this tightrope, and metaphorically speaking, of course, we're looking down on the sides and we're walking so carefully on this straight and narrow because we're afraid to take a chance. We're afraid to reach out into the more that we are because we might be laughed at or ridiculed or told it's not enough. And when it's your true self, you don't want to put that out and have it smacked. And that's a true fear. But it's time to let fear go. And it's time to realize that anyone who would smack you back down is not coming from love. And they need love perhaps even more than you do. And so it becomes this choice. And I like to say choice is my superpower because we always have a choice. And what Spirit is showing me is please stop looking down. Look up and recognize that you have wings to fly. And they want us to take our attention in another direction and place it on what we do want, what we are excited about, what gives us joy, to find the passion within. And then instead of saying, oh, I can't do that, start saying, why not? What can I do? What baby step can I take today? And to start kind of moving the wings that we've maybe forgotten that we have. And to realize that we will soar and fly when we live our authentic self. And when we stop worrying about other people judging that, and we stop comparing ourselves and thinking that we need to be more like someone else. There is no one on the planet that can do what you are here to do. That is the gift of you. And we're here to be so much more than doing. We're here to be that which we are. And then to be inspired by that self, that true self, divine self, and all of the wonderful gifts and abilities and passions within that, we will find our doingness. And that will be meaningful, fulfilling, and rewarding because it will perfectly flow from that which you are. So that is an image that Spirit has asked me to share. So I'm going to just ask you to have courage and heart and trust. Let's do a little light language to bring that energy in and support you making that shift. Again, please give permission because you always have the free will not to receive, not to get the help that you have the right to ask for and you have the right to receive. But you also have the free will right not to. So take a minute here to really get fully aligned and set your intention to receive that which clears all that is limiting and blocking you and places you in a space of receptivity for all that serves your highest purpose and is divinely you. Kia wa kotakasi, anaki alakota shumakai, aleki alokai omakai, alaki akota shuma, shumaka lakasa, shubakai aki hakota, shukai hotakasa, alaki alakota shumaka, she awako shishikiawa, maki alakota, shubakai aki akota, shabakai anokoteneki, malaki alokai otakasi amakai, alaki alokaiwa, masakiawa kolakai, ale, alo, ala, ama, ana, ale, alo, ala, ama, ana, Nice deep breath. Ground that in. Whew. Now, I don't actually understand light language for the most part. I don't know what I'm saying, and I've been told that if I had a great need to know, it would diminish because it start to involve the left brain and the mind instead of trusting. So, but I have asked what this phrase I repeat so often means. The very last one I repeated twice. Ale, alo, ala, ama, ana, And I was given like 12 different versions, which is another reason not to bother trying to translate light language. But in essence, it boils down to the divine source, the divine presence dwells within you. It's me, as you're saying it for yourself. So it is your I am. The divine presence dwells within me. And so I want you to really own that, if you would. Take a minute to breathe that in as truth. Okay. I'll see if there are any questions in chat, and if not, we'll do another imagery share. What is my recommendation for insomnia? Well, gosh, from a, alternative healing perspective, of course, you can Google. There's all kinds of things you can do for insomnia in terms of going to bed at the same time every day and different you can just Google. It's what the doctors will tell you and the naturopaths will tell you. There are some herbs and such, but I am not somebody qualified to speak to herbs. So I'm going to work with energy because that is my venue. And I would invite anyone with insomnia or difficulty sleeping to, again, give permission to be assisted with this, and we will bring through healing energy. Now, the thing that's interesting to share is the way I work is in the quantum. It's holographic healing. It is always coming from the realms of higher light, where we are multidimensional beings. Every one of us is receiving. All of us humans are multidimensional beings, and we are receiving both from our own higher dimensional aspects of self, as well as from guides and angels, God source, and the all that is. We truly are one. So when 600 people are all tuned in and listening, the amazing thing is that each will get what they need in a unique way. So the quantum nature is that all possibilities exist simultaneously, and you can draw through your intent the very energy you need. And like with holographic concepts, whatever is in one is in all. And so I just want you to realize that it doesn't matter what your condition is for insomnia. There could be 12 different people with different symptoms and ways of struggling with sleep and insomnia, and each can receive something unique for themselves. So that's what I want you to understand, okay? So I want you to put your little trust hat on, because everything happens through intent and the ability and the willingness to receive. Spirit told me one day, and I haven't really done this because in the Western world, people would think it's a little creepy and uncomfortable, and so I don't. But what Spirit told me one day is to put my hands like this up against the hands of my client and say, look them deep in the eyes and say, may I honor you? And a lot of people really squirm with that. So I honor their discomfort level with that, and I do this in other ways instead. But the point of that is, what Spirit told me is, to the degree they can say, yes, you may honor me, is the degree of healing that person can receive. So before we do this insomnia piece, I want you to just really stretch yourselves into letting go any discomfort with receiving, because I want you to know you deserve it. And trust me when I tell you, you're a God being here. God created you. You hold the God light in you. It's alive and well in your heart, and there is nothing missing. It's just sometimes that we've got a lot of mud on the windshield, if you will. And so all these light language and healing transmissions and energies that I work with, we're just taking some of the mud off the windshield and offering directly into the heart and into the cells and into the higher mind, everything that can shift that so that you can get the healing you need. So here we go. Insomnia. Akia lo kaiwa kotakasi. Hashiki akotakasa. Hala asakai shikiawa. Hotakasi kaiwa kotakasa. Shukiha kotakasa. She esakai otaka. Mahatakasa. Hala akiha kotakasi. Hatokasa sa 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 sa. Hokakakakakakaka. Hotakasi kai. Hoshikaiwa kotakasa. She etaki sako. Shakaiwa kotakasi. Alekia lo kaiwa. Masala kaiwa kotakasi kaiwa. Ale esa kaiwa. O chiki hawa kotakasa. Ale ki alo kotakasi. Shei hawa kotakasa. Masa kaiwa. Oh, masa kaiwa so. Sheheta kai. O makasa kai. Ale ki alo kai. O masa kai. Meheta kaiwa kotakasa. Shukia wa kotakasa. Ale esa kaiwa. Otakasa kai. Alewa. O makasa kai ekiwa. Malaki alo kaiwa. O te esakai. O makaya wako takasaka. Hala esiki awakoshi. Aleki alo kaiwa. Masakaya wako. Sheki awako. Amakaya wakotakasa. Ale, alo, ala, ama, ana, om. Ale, alo, ala, ama, 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 ana, om. Now take a deep breath and just fill up with that which you have been given, a blessing, healing, light, joy, and peace. And just notice what is different in your life. And as you go to bed, as you enter the sleep state, just say thank you and trust that you are going to sleep deeply and well. And call on your higher self and say, let's make a deal. If you need me to be awake to receive some downloads, to be available for some upgrades, then let's set one night a week that I will remain awake for an extra hour, let's say, at bedtime. Or you wake me at 3 in the morning, 3:33 was my number for quite a long time, and I will make myself available. But let's limit it to one night a week. And then I'm going to ask you, higher self, to download the chemistry, the body chemistry, and the energies and everything that I need to sleep deeply and peacefully every other night of the week. Okay? So you get to decide, and you get to ask and literally command, because you do have free will, your experience in life. And just keep at it. It'll come. Okay, what have I got here? Hawaiian prayer. Somebody must be talking about the Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm trying to see what's in the chat here. Okay, I don't see anything that's being requested at this moment. We have about 15 more minutes. So if there's any request, quickly put it in the chat line. And if not, I can share another little story. How about this one? Another metaphor that I really get a lot of metaphors and imagery from my guides. And one of the one recently was, pulling out from the treasure box at the end of your bed, say, all of your treasures, your gifts, the things that you really want. And Spirit was showing me that in truth, we kind of, through duality, separate, and we create two boxes, one a treasure box, and we are really good at pulling out what's in there, and we want what's in there. And we will go and unwrap something, and we'll work with it, be it a quality you want to develop, maybe self-discipline or meditation or more love and peace, or maybe better listening skills. And you become, conscious. And that's the journey we're on, is working through with intention, one issue at a time. So maybe it's forgiveness, and we'll go through and we'll work with that. And then we actually have another box in our room, and we're metaphorically going through that, but we're not doing that one on purpose. And that's the box of all the stuff we don't want to deal with. That's the shadow side. That's where people trigger us, and we don't want to own it, that's ours to deal with. And so we project and blame them, or we want them to change. And that's not very useful, because we'll never have the power to change another person. And we always have the power to change how we respond to life and what we bring to life. We always have choice. So what they were showing me is that really we could consider that all in the treasure box, because indeed they're all blessings and they are all treasures. But we tend to like to separate that. So I want you to think about, as you're going about your life and facing your challenges, that it's a little like pulling something out of the other box that you really don't want to deal with. And I want you to sort of start to In order to hold more peace in your life, I want you to consider that there's really no difference between the two boxes or the experiences, because they really are both blessings and they're both gifts. And when you start to look at them that way, you'll just bring your full presence to those challenges and those triggers instead of treating them like, ugh, this is not something I want to be dealing with. Why is this coming up? Why is this back again? I thought I had dealt with it. And if you just take it in stride and it's like, oh, all right, it's time to work on this. And at the same time, you make a point of pulling out some treasure, something that you know you're already good at, you might be wanting to improve on. Maybe it's something that, you know, you could share with somebody else, but you've been a little hesitant, a little shy, and yet you're wanting to develop that a little more. Maybe you have some innate intuitive skills and you want to take a class or read a book and sort of be, what do we want to call that, activated by those new experiences to remember more of what is really part of your soul energy and part of your Akashic history, that full history of the soul in all of the lifetimes is available, and we remember it, and light language actually does trigger and activate that as well. So it's just another way to look at your life, not as good things happening and bad things happening, blessings happening and curses happening, or whatever the opposite of blessing is, but to just start walking through life with a little more balance and equanimity, treating everything instead of optimism and pessimism, just kind of having a presence and knowing that you always have a resource within you to deal with whatever it is. And the more that you can be in a balanced state and the more that you can open to receive that which you are asking your higher self to assist you with and provide, you'll get to where you're just not so fearful and you're not so triggered and you're not so in resistance. And life becomes much more joyful when you just go through your day taking every experience as it comes as the blessing that it is. So that's just another thing that Spirit has asked me to share with people, particularly recently. So I will check and see what we got going on in chat again, and if nothing, then I'll give you one more. Somebody is saying, Brother Sean is saying, Laura, let us send healing love across the many religions of our world to unite more faith groups, to unite in love with compassion and joy. I think that's wonderful. So, if you will join me in your hearts and give your permission, set your intent, let us hold in our hearts, but also draw and anchor into the earth plane and make it available through the grids of the earth to everyone. This unity of spirit. And people, really take their religions very seriously, and they feel that it is the right one. And we know that we need to honor that because it comes from deep within them. But we also need to honor the collective of all religions representing the love of God. And every one of them has found their own way to express the love of God uniquely. So let's just ask for compassion and joy to unify and bring us together in whole light, trust and truth, and honoring and respect of all beings, all people and all beings. And that means also in the etheric, where in the different traditions, there are different masters and angels and archangels and such, and we want to say thanks and send gratitude and hold them in this light. But also the earth beings, humans and animals, the aquatics, and the many, many nature, the gifts of nature. And we just want to bring it all together in compassion and unity and joy and healing. Makalakai omakai aleki alaka takasa. Aleki alokaiwa. Hote hesa. Shukiha wakota. Bahasa. Shukia wako. Shukiha wakota. Shukiha lokaiwa. Aleki alokaiwa. Mosakaiwa. Olakai anakatene. Hele esakai. Oshiki hawako sha. Ale esa ki alokai. Moki alokai wako. Hetaki hawa. Shalakai omakai eleki alako takasa. Aleki alokai wa. Masakai wako takasi. Moki akota. Shubakai wa. Ale. Alo. Ala. Ama. Om. Aleki alokai wa. Om. Aleki alokai wa. Om. Ale. Alo. Ala. Ama. Ana. Om. Ala. Om. Thank you. That is so huge. Imagine when we unify religion and we unify politics and we unify all of the divisive and the things that separate us, what a world it will be. And we will create that by choosing to participate in the energies, the whole light, non-dual energies of love and peace. Okay, we have about 8 minutes here. So I will remind you once again that my website is laurapirat.com. There are many free gifts and tools there, as well as paid services for healing sessions and such. And I just welcome you to make yourself at home there and find something that blesses you, something useful. The Daily Dose of Love I'm getting so many wonderful emails from that project. I have 192 days, so it's a 6-month journey of one light language transmission a day for 6.5 months. And I'm getting wonderful emails from people on that journey because it's very gentle and it helps you move from wherever you are into unity, peace, oneness, hope, clarity, and compassion, love, healing, and transformation. It's just day after day after day of these non-dual energies of the higher realms of love and light that will literally attune, align, and transform your light body and your consciousness for the greater good. And it will bless you. So there's all of that. And with that, I am just going to take a few moments to close with a meditation. I think this is synchronous because I read this going to bed last night. Usually at bed I read one channeled article in the Sedona Journal of Emergence. And last night I read this and I thought it was just perfect to share today. This is from Giuliano and the Arcturians through David K. Miller. And it's a meditation, so just close your eyes if you'd like and visualize as I read. I would like you to find the I Am presence in your energy field. If you're having trouble identifying it, look to your crown chakra and see a beautiful golden candle burning a golden flame of light above it. As you visualize that, see a point right above the candle that is another circle, like a crown or a halo of light. It's just a point, and that golden circle, that golden aura, that golden halo is your I Am presence. Just focus on that point that I call the singularity of the I Am presence and say these words. And I'm going to encourage you to say them out loud. I am. I am. I am present. And hold that thought as a singularity thought. A thought that has the only thought, that is the only thought that you are going to focus on right now. I am. I am. Let us go into meditation now as you hold that energy of singularity. I am. Maki alokai om. Amaki alokai om. Ale alo ala om. 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 Ale ki alo kaiwa, o chi ki awako. Aum, 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 aum. Ale ki alo kai, om chikiawa. Ale, alo, ala, ama, ana, om. Aleki alokai omakai aleki alako. Aleki alokai wa amakai aleki alako takasa. Ale, alo, ala, ama, ana, om. Okia kota sakai. Ale, alo, ala, ama, ana, om. Aleki alokai wa ochiki akota shum al ki halokai. Ale ki alokaiwa omakaiwa. Ale, alo, ala, om, aum, om, aum, om. Ale, alo, ala, ama, ana, om. Ale, alo, ala, ama, om. Ale, alo, ala, ama, om. Ale, alo, ala, ama, om. Take a nice deep breath. Relax into the energy of the words. I am. I am. I am love. I am peace. I am healing light. I am divine presence. I am all that is. And so it is. We send you blessings. We send your peace across the land. We carry your light in places it is needed. We send you blessings, and we invite you to join us frequently until you literally feel us with you at all times. Tune in, connect, be with that which is you as all that is, that which is your higher self. And we will greet you and meet you in all of the ways that you reach out, for we are love, and we are one, and we know each other well. And with that, we will say many blessings and gratitude for your great service as you carry the light upon the land of life. Ale, alo, ala, ama, ana.